Introducing the growth coaching model. Although there are many variations of the growth coaching model, I would like to highlight that in the TikVah growth coaching model, you will notice that there has been an S added. The normal coaching model only go up to grow and ends with a W. In my case, for the case of TikVah, the S is added and we'll explain it later on. Some individuals find it difficult to settle on an approach to developing their capability. Their development goals can be unclear and they are unsure about what to do next. The growth coaching model can be used to assist individuals to expand and explore their thinking about what the current situation is and what might be possible. So let's get into it and dissect what growth is all about. Growth is the acronym that stands for the following. We have the G, which stands for goals. This provides understanding of principal aims and aspiration. It also clarifies the desired result for the session. So here we'll ask the critical questions. For instance, what is your goal for the session? Next we have the R, and it stands for reality. Here we sit with the client and assess the current situation, including any actions taken so far. We also provide understanding of internal obstacles and blocks that currently prevent or limit progression. We must take into consideration that yes, we have internal blocks, we have internal obstacles that prevents us to move forward, and this can also be seen in another instance of our blind spots. We sometimes don't realize that we have blind spots, and by actually sitting with our coach, we can determine what are the obstacles or the blind spots that prevents us from moving forward. So we have the O, and the O stands for options. Option provides an understanding of principal aims and aspirations. It also clarifies the result from the session. So here we dig a little deeper into what options the client actually have in terms of them moving forward to achieve their goals, which they have determined just previously or prior to coming to options. Then we have the W, which stands for will. Here we create a summary and a plan of action of implementation of the identified steps. In other words, now that we have discovered your goals, we have seen what your reality is, what your current situation is, we have now worked on the options, in other words, the way forward, and now we determine and create a summary of what the client intends to do once they are done with the session. In other words, what they are going to do when they are on their own. And then finally we have the S, as I mentioned, and it stands for support. So as a coach, you can now offer your services of support to your client. This will also serve as a form of accountability to ensure and better support your client to reach their goals. So now we're just going to have some tips and hints regarding growth. The growth model is most successful when individuals have spent sufficient time exploring the goals and they have defined something which they find both inspirational and challenging. You see, this can only be effective if the client take ownership. As a coach, you can only present it as a tool to the client, but it is ultimately the client that must take the responsibility, and he must or she must buy into it. The coaching conversation should be allowed to move flexibility through each area of the model. This may mean revisiting the goal if needed. And then a final tip: towards the end of the option step, it may be worth evaluating each of the ideas that have been generated. So in essence, what we are saying is there must be revision. Don't just present it to the client like you presenting a presentation. No, make it interesting. Ask questions. Listen to the client. Comment if necessary. Not always, only if necessary. So here we see now that with the TikVah coaching model, we have a framework that we call growth, and we also have a framework which we call DISC. Introduction to DUSK. DUSK is a simple, practical, easy to remember and universally applicable model. It focuses on individual patterns of external observable behaviors and measures the intensity of characteristics using scales of directness and openness for each of the 4 styles, which is dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientious. I must admit here is just an introduction. It's a very, very brief description of what DUSK is. And in order for you to fully apply it in your coaching sessions, I would suggest that you contact us and arrange for a training session. This will also help you to discover the power of DUSK. So let's get back to the presentation. D stands for dominant, the I stands for influence, S is for steadiness, and C is for conscientious. So let's just delve a little bit deeper into the different behavioral styles. And here I'm just going to elaborate a little bit on how you can deal with the different styles when you coach them. Let's look at the dominant style. The dominant style says exactly who the person is. This person is very dominant. When I did the training for this, I always said to the people, and it sounds very harsh, they don't really care or mind about people. They don't mind about your feelings. They don't mind about your opinion. The only thing that matters is what they want to achieve. And that is the ultimate goal. So how would you then coach a person like this? You get to the point of the coaching session. You stay focused on the goals and objectives. You keep questions direct and to the point. In that way, you will have their attention throughout your session. The next one is your I, which stands for influence. This person is very people orientated. In the dominant style, they are very task orientated. So that's why I said they don't really mind about people. But the I style is very people orientated. So they will take time with people. Doesn't matter what happens, they've got the time of day. With this type of person, you will establish personal relationships before asking business questions. Yes, that's right. They want to get to know who you are. They want to know your history. They want to know what happened. So you establish personal relationship. You also ask about personal needs that they want filled. But finally, you have to keep them gently on the topic. So you have to, from time to time, remind them, but this is what we are still discussing. What do you think? Let's get to the steadiness style. Although these people are also people related, they have their moments when they want to interact with people. They don't just want to nilly-willy like the I style or the influencer want to interact with people. So how do we communicate with them in the coaching session? Speak warmly and informally. Ask questions to draw them out. These are what we call very, very introverts. So you really have to draw it out. Even the answer, as much as you ask the question, they're not going to just jump and be excited and answer you. So you have to draw it out of them. Avoid confrontations at all costs and challenging questions. Yes, they're going to shut down. When you ask challenging questions, they will shut down. Allow time for them to open up and reveal their needs. Once they are comfortable with you, and they are confident with you, they will open up. Finally, let's look at the conscientious style. This is the type of style that asks the why question a lot, and they thrive on rules. They thrive on doing things the right way. So with them, you ask questions that reveal their experience and knowledge, for they are very knowledgeable people. Focus questions on process and efficiency. And finally, ask questions that reveal a clear direction. If you need more information, I have a book that gives you more insights into the DISC model. If you are interested, you can email me or contact me on LinkedIn, and I can send you the link and you can read it in your own time. It's a 40-page book and they tell you all the styles. I also have my own website where you can buy the reports for your DISC assessment. Should you have any more questions, please feel free to email me at nevillesoul@icloud.com, or you can contact me on my mobile 074-127-6439. And I thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. If you have any more comments, you can also send that to me. I greatly appreciate that. Have a nice day, have fun, and continue the good work of coaching.